Good afternoon out there. This is episode 15 of the Handsome Cynic Show live, whatever you want to call it. It's hmm, oops, having some technical difficulties here. Hold on. Hold on. Wait a second, I'm having technical difficulties here. Apparently, I'm muted. I can't believe I'm muted, huh? Let's see if I can fix. A second. What the hell's going on here? Goddamn microphone. What the hell? Hold on. I'm good now? Okay. Now I'm good. Jeez. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties, shit happens. Now I'm gonna mute my mic on purpose because I don't want an echo to while I'm playing this video. Then I'll get to my thoughts on the charges. I won't touch it. Don't worry. I'll try not to touch anything else. All right. So let's play this. Oh, let me know if there's an echo too while I play this because I'll turn off my mic. It's not a big deal. I'm just.
Very sadly, we're a nation in decline, and yet they go after a popular president, a president that got more votes than any sitting president in the history of our country, by far, and did much better the second time in the election than the first. And they go after him on a boxes hoax, just like the Russia hoax and all of the others. It's been going on for 7 years. They can't stop because it's election interference at the highest level. There's never been anything like what's happened. I'm an innocent man. I'm an innocent person. They had the Mueller hoax, the Mueller report, and that came out. No collusion after 2.5 years. That was set up by Hillary Clinton and Democrats. But this is what they do. This is what they do so well. If they would devote their energies to honesty and integrity, it would be a lot better for our country. They could do a lot better. They could do a lot of great things. But when you look at what's happened to our country in the last 3 years, we were energy independent. We had a strong military that wasn't woke. We were doing so well. We were respected all over the world. Got the biggest tax cuts in history, biggest regulation cuts in history. And what do? You have a president where an election was taken, got more votes than any sitting president in history by far, never anything even close. And they come after me because now we're leading in the polls again by a lot, against Biden and against the Republicans by a lot. But we're leading against Biden by a lot, a tremendous amount. And we went up to a level that they figure the way they're going to stop us is by using what's called warfare. And that's what it is. This is warfare for the law. And we can't let it happen. We can't let it happen. Our country is going to hell. And they come after Donald Trump, weaponizing the Justice Department, weaponizing the FBI. We can't let this continue to go on because it's ripping our country to shreds.
All right. Let me try that again. All right. So I wanted to stop it there because fucking door. Because even though you could say all you want that these are fair charges and there's no political machinations or calculation, anything like that. The issue is that's going to be the perception. The perception is going to be that the Department of Justice is going after Trump because he's running against the president, which is Joe Biden. So and one of my favorite sayings is perception is reality. So if the perception is going to be out there that the DOJ is actually going after one of the president's opponents politically or criminally, I mean, then, it's obviously a political calculation, like oh, if we charge Trump with all these charges, maybe he won't be reelected again as president. And so that's why I said it on Twitter yesterday that you should, or they should have saved these charges until after the election, because that way there is no excuse of like, well, I mean, come on, I mean, obviously the crimes, right? He did the crimes, so why charge him now? Why not charge him years before? I mean, we've known about this well over a year now. Why wait a year for the election? It just doesn't. It looks fishy or smells fishy or whatever the saying is to me. So I'll keep going here. Let me turn off my mic again. I'll play this.
We have such big problems, and this shouldn't be one of them. It's a hoax. The whole thing is a hoax, just like Russia, just like the fake dossier was a hoax. You saw the Durham report. You saw the Mueller report. It was all a big hoax. You had 2 impeachments, and they lost and we won. And we had tremendous support. But that was a hoax and a scam. And now they're doing it again. It's just a continuation, 7 years, even after I'm out. But it's called election interference. They're trying to destroy a reputation so they can win an election. That's just as bad as doing any of the other things that have been done over the last number of years, and especially during the 2020 election. So I just want to tell you, I'm an innocent man. I did nothing wrong. And we will fight this out just like we've been fighting for 7 years. It would be wonderful if we could devote our full time to making America great again. And that's exactly what we did. But now, again, our country is in decline. We're a failing nation. And this is what they do. I'm an innocent man. We will prove that again. 7 years of proving it. And here we go again. Very unfair. But that's the way it is. I just want to thank everybody. We are doing something very special for our country. We're putting America first. I always put America first. And that's why we were in a position. Unfortunately, that position is no longer valid because they've done such a poor job. But we're in a position where we're going to make America great again. I'm innocent, and we will prove that very, very soundly and hopefully very quickly. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, that's Donald Trump's statement there. Let's get rid of that. That's not that important. So yeah, there it is. There it is. That's Trump's statement. Now let's look at some live. Let's take a look at. Excuse me 1 second. This isn't loading the way I planned it. More and more technical difficulties. Right. Here we go. Rid of that. Want to watch this CNN clip, and then I'm going to, watch. And there's another video I wanted to show about this too. Before I just wanted to, let's see. Here we go. I'll shut up now, and then let's do this. Let me turn off my mic first.
We have more breaking news this morning. We've just learned that another individual has been indicted in the classified documents case against Donald Trump. Walt Nauta, who was the man in the red tie right there, who had been a White House aide and then followed Donald Trump to Mar-a-Lago. He has been indicted in this case as well. CNN's Evan Perez back with us with the details here. Evan.
That's right, John. Walt Nauta has been a figure, certainly, that has been central to this investigation. Prosecutors have allegedly been trying to pressure him, according to some of the lawyers in the Trump orbit. They've been pressuring him to try to flip, to try to turn against the former president. They say that he never did that. In recent days, Walt Nauta was actually seen at Bedminster alongside the former president, among a group of aides who have been there with him as he was waiting to hear whether.
Bedminster, I think Bedminster is in New Jersey, by the way. Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. And yep, so far so good here. So not much else going on here. So let's finish the clip. Okay, sounds good. All right, let's do this.
Whether Jack Smith was going to indict him, and he's now facing charges. We do not know specifics of the charges that Nauta faced, but here's the deal. He was big. His involvement here looms very large for the former president. He is one of the people who allegedly was handling some of these documents, moved some of the boxes allegedly from the storage room. Again, this is part of what Jack Smith and his investigative team have been looking at for months. This is somebody who was very close to the former president, began his job as a valet in the White House, the guy who brought him his Diet Cokes, for instance, right? And then moved down to Mar-a-Lago when the former president left office, and he has been by his side, again, somebody who witnessed a lot of the things that went on down there, and certainly was somebody that the Justice Department was keen to try to talk.
I don't care. This is not interested in Trump's former aide. I might have played the wrong video. Doesn't matter. No, the whole point is this. This is, of course, Gamer says, yep, Trump got indicted again, but he's not going to jail. If you think he's going to jail, then I got a bridge to sell you. Excuse me. I got a bridge to sell you. Trust me. It's great. Give me $100 million for it cash, and I'll hand you the paperwork for the bridge. Sorry, I have my voice is going away there. But yeah, this is beyond ridiculous. It's like, okay, this is Trump aide. And it's like, yeah, I don't care. They obviously they tried to get his aide to flip on him, and the aide didn't flip on him, so they indicted Trump anyways, and his aide, even though nobody flipped on each other. But this is, but I'm gonna say a few things here. This is the issue with this. The bottom line is this: Biden's been accused of very similar things. He's had a ton of classified information out there, a ton, from to his garage to I think in his house in Delaware, which is the same thing. I don't know why I said both. No, I don't think I'm sick. It's just my voice just randomly goes. My throat gets really dry for some reason, especially when I talk a lot. And during these streams, I obviously talk a lot, which is why my throat gets dry, and then I can't spit out my words, which is why I have a lot of water here with me. But yeah, but Biden's been accused of very. Oh, thanks for asking, though. I appreciate the concern. But Biden's been accused of very similar things. He's had classified information in his house in Delaware, the University of Pennsylvania, I think in his office somewhere. I mean, he's had classified information all over the place. And what? Why isn't the Justice Department? Why is the FBI raiding Biden's offices and Biden's house? Why is the Department of Justice not opening a grand jury investigation against the current president? Look, I also understand that a current president can't get indicted, but they could still open an investigation against him at the very least if they really care about this classified information stuff. Then that's what they would do if they really cared about it, which we all know they don't. We all know it's a political scheme in order to somehow get Trump out of the race. So far, it hasn't worked. They've indicted him in New York. Now that they've indicted him in Washington, or not Washington, I think it's Miami. He has to go to court in Miami on Tuesday. But they indicted him in Miami. They indicted him in New York. They're most likely going to indict him again in Georgia over the alleged voting scheme where they had the fake electors. So there's indictments coming all over the place, and none of that's going to go anywhere. I mean, it's just a desperate attempt to try to get Donald Trump away so he won't get reelected president. That's very likely to end up happening. If Trump's still around November next year, he's going to get reelected, and there's not much they can do about it at that point. Because I don't see how Biden wins reelection. even if Trump doesn't run, let's say somehow he goes away, he dies, Trump fucking decides to, yeah, I'll quit, whatever, which is not likely. Trump's ego will let him quit. He would have to be dead or in jail in order not to run for president. But let's say somehow he's dead. Let's say Trump is dead. That's more likely than him going to jail. DeSantis beats Biden. Your generic Republican beats Biden. That's the thing that they think is they don't care as long as it's not Trump. They would rather have DeSantis or Pence or Christie or Marco Rubio, Sarah Palin. They'd rather have any of those people president than have Donald Trump back. Stephanie says they'll do anything besides not having a fair election. No primaries, indict Trump, smear West. Cornel West, they've already been smearing Cornel West. Not necessarily Cornel West himself. So at least online liberals and stuff. They're not directly going after Cornel West, but they're going after their People's Party. Like, oh well, Nick Brana, was accused of sexual harassment or assault. There's issues with it. There was a coup in the party, blah 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 blah. So yeah, they bad. People Party bad. Democrat, Green Party good. I mean, Green Party is better than the People's Party because they have ballot access in more states. I'm like, ballot access. Yeah, how many? I remember in 2020, the Green Party wasn't the ballot in New Jersey where I live, and that's a fair point for the People's Party. They only have ballot access in, I believe, 3 states, and if they want even a shot, they're going to have to get ballot access in more states. At least half of the country, maybe more. They need to be on the ballot next year. If they're serious about this, if Cornel West is serious about this run, which I'm sure that he is, why wouldn't he be? But let's say if he's serious, if the party's serious about pushing this, they need to get on the ballot in more states. Because if they don't, we're all wasting our time, donating money to his campaign and volunteering, whatever. It's a big waste of time because they're not on the ballot in every state. The only way that you could do a write-in campaign, obviously, just to write his name in on election day. But ultimately, not many people are actually going to do that. It's easier to press a button in the booth and press too few buttons and leave than it is to write Core or Dr. Cornel West on the thing, send it in. West should run on an independent ticket. Well, yeah, I mean, it'd be ideal if he just says, yeah, I'm running for president. I have no party. I'm going to this, and this, and this for the American people. This is my agenda. And not have a party behind him because most Americans are sick of parties, So, yeah. So that's, if I were West, that's what I would do. But, I'm not donating if he stays with MPP, but I'll vote for him. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, if he's on the ballot in any way in November, even I would probably vote for him, but he's a million times better than any other candidate on any of the rosters. Let me try that again. Any of the on any of the ticket, the voting thing, whatever. Jesus Christ, I don't support MPP at all because of Brana. Look, here's the thing. I don't know what happened between Nick Brana and, why am I forgetting her name? I'm blanking on the woman's name who accused them. I don't know what happened between them. Ultimately, they know, and ultimately, I'm not going to cast aspersions against Brana or against the woman that accused him because I don't know what the fuck happened. I wasn't there. I wasn't there. I have no connection to Brana whatsoever. I don't remember talking to him. So I don't know the people in this situation. So ideally, you would like to see Nick Brana just resign, or somehow leave the party so the party can, try to somehow recover. But yeah, I mean, there's issues with the People's Party. I mean, I'm not gonna tell you and defend the People's Party because they aren't no party is perfect. I mean, I would rather ideally see presidential candidates and political candidates run without having a party structure behind them, no matter what it is. Their financing is shady too. His dad is a treasurer. Yeah, is that still true? Because I did hear about this before, but I'm assuming that it is true. I mean, he's still the treasurer of the party, which is kind of weird. I mean, why? It's like, oh yeah, here's my treasurer, ladies and gentlemen, it's my dad. Here's my dad. He's the treasurer of the party. I'm the head of the party. So yeah, what's the problem? Well, obviously, there's some shady shit going on there. I mean, at least there's the perception that there could be shady shit going on. Doesn't mean there is. I'm just saying, there's definitely some kind of shadiness going on there when when you're the head of the party, and all of a sudden your father is the treasurer of the party, and keeps all the money, basically. Jasmine Sherman is running on an independent ticket. I never heard of her until this past week. I have no idea who that is. I mean, I'm kind of ignorant on her and about what I hadn't even heard of the name until now. So that's interesting to know. I would have to know more about her before I even have an opinion. But let's see. Yeah. So now I want to get to liberal reaction of Trump's indictment, because there's plenty of liberal reaction. Let me see. No. Joe Biden has weaponized the DOJ. Yeah, I mean, I'm hearing. Yeah, I never heard of Jasmine Sherman. I don't know her. I've never heard of the name. I can't even tell you who. I couldn't pick her out of a lineup. I couldn't tell who she is. So I'd be interested to learn more about her, because ultimately, it's like it's better to vote. I'm sick of parties. I'm sick of all the political machinations in parties. It's just all bullcrap. So I'd rather see somebody run on this, not necessarily their party, but their agenda, their policy goals, their foreign policy. Just talk about that. I don't want partisan hacks on either side telling me you should vote, why I should vote for their candidate, and if I disagree with them, I'm a piece of shit, and I'm a scumbag, and I'm this, and I'm that, and I'm the third, and so I'm sick of partisan hacks on both sides. It's not just Democrats. I mean, Republicans are horrible too. I saw some of Sabby's interview with Cornel West last night. I didn't see the whole thing because I had other things to do, but yeah, I'm gonna try to. She is a good interviewer. I mean, she usually asks good, poignant questions, and you learn a lot about the person she's talking to, or in this case, a candidate for president. What? But yeah, I'm sick of partisan hacks on both sides telling me what a scumbag I am because I won't vote for their candidate, or I won't agree to their policy ideas. So they call me names instead of being mature and try to debate me like a mature human being would. This is. Oops. Oh yeah, here we go. This is partisan Democrat hack Victor Shi. It is very hard. Like this guy right here, this dude is just ridiculous. So these blue MAGA men and women, they can. I'll show you who he is. I've argued with this dude a few times on Twitter, so I'm surprised he hasn't blocked me yet. Youngest Biden delegate, host of On the Move, iGen Politics Voter Tomorrow, Resolute Square, former White House Joe Biden communication, DNC, blah, blah, blah. So he worked in the Biden administration and in the DNC. So why in the world would you take this guy like at face value? I don't know, but a lot of people do. So let's take a look at this tweet. It's holy cow, Donald. Holy cow, who are you? Who said holy cow a lot? Phil Rizzuto, the Yankees commentator. I mean, who do you think you are? Holy cow! Donald Trump could be facing 100 years in prison and up to 1.75 million for 37 counts, including espionage, obstruction of justice, conspiracy to conceal, and more. Donald Trump about to go through some serious leading. Blah, blah, blah. My condolences. Yeah, right. I mean, seriously. He's not going to prison for 100 years. He's not going. He never pays his bills anyway. So good luck trying to get $2 million out of him. Okay, let's see. maximum, blah, 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 30 years and 20 years, all that other nonsense. Now he won't like spend 100 years in prison, but just let the fact that he has engaged in so many crimes that it could amount to that sink in. We are so much better than this as a country. Please never normalize what Trump has done. So, yep. So let's bottom line this real quick. Trump was just indicted. He wasn't convicted of a crime. He wasn't convicted of a crime. He hasn't even gone to trial, and he brought like he's guilty as charged. Like, oh yeah, he's guilty. See, I mean, just the fact that he was indicted, it's a huge deal, guys. This time we got him. Believe us, this time we got him. Not all the other times in the last 7 years when we claimed that we had him, and it turns out we didn't have him. He was elected president. And then throughout all the last 4 years of Russiagate, we didn't get him then either, but even though we claimed we did. And then now out of office, there's all these indictments against him. We still haven't gotten him. In fact, he's running for president again, very likely to win. But this time, believe me, this time we got him. And he's going to prison for the rest of his life. Who believes that? I mean, who honestly right now believes that Donald Trump's going to prison? He's most likely going back to the White House next year. That's where he's going. He's not going, there's no chance that he goes to prison. It's like, if Joe Biden, let me try it again. That's a Freudian slip. If Donald Trump goes to prison, then by that logic, that means that every U.S. president post Kennedy should be tried for war crimes and go to prison. So that's why nobody really does. That's why the Department of Justice never goes after former U.S. U.S. presidents. Excuse me, because ultimately, there's a precedent that's set by going after these people, and same person. So now let's go to Robert Reich. We all know who this guy is. He worked in the Clinton administration. He's a Berkeley professor. Nice. Former Secretary of Labor, co-founder in Equality Media, Substack, blah, 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 Mastodon. What is Mastodon, by the way? Is that like that hack Democrat, like, social media thing? Mastodon. I assume that's what this is. I've heard people say go to Mastodon. That they will censor you up the ass. Trust me. Albert Reich says Donald Trump is not above the law. He must be prosecuted. Holding him accountable is not an act of partisanship. It's a defense of our democracy. Again, first of all, we're not a democracy. We're a republic. Second of all, it seems like it's an act of partisanship. I don't care whether, let's say that they're altruistic, the Department of Justice. Like, oh, Trump committed, we have evidence of crime, so now we're going to prosecute him. It still looks partisan. We're right in the middle of election season. Partisan hack. That's what it looks like. It looks like a Democratic administration going after his Republican opponent. That's what it looks like. Even if it's not, that's the perception. And that's not a good perception to have if you're the president of the United States, that your Justice Department is going after your political opponents. Even if it's altruistic, like, oh, we seriously have this evidence and it's very important that we go after Trump, so that's why we have to do this. The perception still is a Democratic Department of Justice going after Biden's Republican opponent, very likely. And you don't want to have that perception. You don't want to have that perception. Make sure I spit it out properly, because it seems like I do that quite a bit, especially when I talk too fast. I love this one. Yeah, the Democrats are definitely panicking. I mean, it's like, that's why there's all these indictments coming out. The E. Jean Carroll conviction in civil court, that didn't take Trump down. The grab him by the pussy statement didn't take him down years ago. Nothing takes him down. He is Teflon Don. Nothing takes this guy down. He has more scandals than Hillary Clinton does. Hillary Clinton had a ton of scandals. Trump has even more than her. And somehow he got elected president. Mastodon, a social media platform. I've heard of it, but I've never used it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's where the partisan Democrats hang out mostly. That Mastodon thing, because Mastodon's willing to censor and not to have opinions that Democrats don't like or liberals don't like. So, which is why a lot of them have migrated towards this Mastodon thing. So let's get to this. This is Aaron Mate, Buzzsaw, tweeted out. Trump Russia conspiracy theorist Rachel Maddow says you have to wonder if the DOJ would drop Trump's case in exchange for him never running for office again. Lawrence O'Donnell reminds her this is exactly what Trump accuses DOJ of trying to achieve. Oh God, Rachel Maddow is such an embarrassment. I mean, it's like how can anybody watch her and take her seriously? Even if you're like the biggest partisan Democrat possible, even if you're the biggest, like, how do you look at Rachel Maddow and say she nailed it? She's awesome. Her opinions are great, even though she's definitely just a hack for Democrats. How could you think that? This is exactly that's exactly what Trump is accusing the Department of Justice. Is like, yeah, they're trying to get me to drop out in exchange for dropping these charges. And we know Trump well enough to know he's not just going to accept that. Like, oh yeah, I'll just go away. You drop the charges. I'll go back home to Mar-a-Lago. We never hear from me again. That's not how it works with Trump. He's a stubborn son of a bitch. He's going to be right there. He's going to be right there until he's dead. So most likely you would have to kill him in order for him to run again. So I don't want to give them any ideas because I'm sure there's certain elements within the government would love the chance to kill Trump. But nonetheless, let's play this video real quick. It's like, what is it, 30 seconds?
You have to.
Oh, a minute and a half. Okay, it's not that long. I don't want you to subject you guys to Rachel Maddow more than I have to, but let's do this.
You have to wonder if the Justice Department is considering whether there is some political solution to this criminal problem, whether part of the issue here is not just that Trump has committed crimes, but that Trump has committed crimes and plans on being back in the White House. Do they consider, as part of a potential plea offer, something that would proscribe him from running for office again? I don't know.
I would imagine if anything like that happened, that it would have to come from the defense side of the negotiation. That the Trump team would say, oh, by the way, and with this, we will also, drop out of the race for president. Otherwise, it would put the Justice Department in this position that Donald Trump claims they're in. He claims they're trying to stop him, simply trying to stop him from becoming president again. And that's the only reason they're doing this. So my guess, given those dynamics and the change, I think, in the way the Justice Department sees this in those 50 years since Spiro Agnew, it just seems unlikely that they would reach into the political zone of the solution. Our politics does have to find a solution to this, but it might have to find that solution separate and apart from the criminal process.
All right. So you've seen Rachel Maddow kind of like condescendingly and sarcastically like do this to Lawrence when he pointed out tepidly how full of shit she was there. I mean, she's doing this and then she gives a sarcastic smile and she does all of this, like just dismissing him. Like, how dare you question me? I mean, I am the highest paid host here at MSNBC, and you dare point out how full of shit I am live on television? Fuck you. So that's Rachel wasn't happy with that. You guys, I've actually not seen the video of Max Blumenthal calling out Rachel Maddow. So I saw it in the chat that people saw it. I've heard of it, but I definitely didn't see it. So, in fact, here we go. So I'm gonna have to look it up now because I didn't see it. I mean, which is amazing. Here it is. Here it is. It's right there. So if you guys saw it, you're gonna have to bear with me because I haven't seen it. I haven't really watched it yet. So let's do this. Let me turn off my mic.
bent on overthrowing the U.S. government. And members of Congress who were sympathetic.
Rachel, this speech is boring and paranoid. Can you explain why you promoted the Steele? Why did you promote the Steele dossier, which has been proven to be a lie? Why did you promote the lie of Russian bounties?
Come on, let's go.
Can you ever be held accountable for the lies you told Americans for years and years and years? You lied to Americans for years.
Let's go.
Silence is
You're
violence,
out.
Rachel.
You're out. You're out.
Let's go.
There you go. You want my badge?
Thank you.
Here you go. I'm walking
In
out
fact,
with
we
you.
can go this way.
Which way?
Elevator right here.
Rachel Maddow refusing to answer questions about lying about the Steele dossier, lying about Russian bounties, and doing a paranoid speech claiming Nazism is afoot in America. And I'm being thrown out by security now. There was no Q&A. If there was Q&A, I would have politely asked a question.
What did he say at the beginning? Let me play that first few seconds there.
Bent on overthrowing the U.S. government. And members of Congress who were sympathetic.
Rachel, this speech is boring and paranoid. Can you explain why you promoted the Steele? Why did you?
This is boring and pointless. It is boring, Rachel. Even 10 years ago, when she first started her show on MSNBC, and I was more of a hack Democrat back then too myself, I couldn't stand Rachel Maddow. She's so boring. She's like, and how can anybody watch this woman? It's like, she made all her money with paranoia and pushing lies and propaganda. And somehow, like, she's treated like as a respected political commentator and host. It's like, and on top of that, she's going to these goddamn conferences like she's some kind of expert. She's a hack Democrat. It's like if all of a sudden, if like an organization like, I don't know, like the Council on Foreign Relations invited me to speak for them, they wouldn't do that. But that's what this is basically. And I'm a loudmouth internet guy that barely has 170 subscribers on YouTube. Meanwhile, Rachel Maddow has no experience whatsoever when it comes to foreign policy, but somehow she gets invited to these conferences, then act and treated like an expert. And so let me get rid of Rachel Maddow's face there because I don't want to look at it. I'm sure you guys don't either. So that's the first time I've actually seen that video. So awesome job by Max Lumenthal as usual. Calling out Rachel Maddow and her bullshit. I used to. I never. Even when I was a hack, there's one of these like hacky Democrats 10 years ago. I never watched her. She used to be a guest on what's his name? The crazy old man now, Keith Olbermann's show. That's his name. Regularly, and I used to watch his show. I know you might say you're out of your mind for watching him, but I did. I liked this fucking show. What do you want me to say? I was 10 years younger and I was 10 years dumber. So she would be a guest on Keith Olbermann's show and regularly, and it was like, oh, Rachel Maddow again. I mean, it's like it's just ridiculous. And then she gets her own show and somehow managed to be even boringer. Yeah, it's like, yeah, Stephanie's right. They're so insulated. They need to be called out more. They should be. And her, I love her face. Like she had no idea who Max Lumenthal is. She definitely knows who Max Lumenthal is. It's like, really. Yeah, she acted like she had no clue who he was. It's like, wait, what's your name? What's your name, kid? Let me see. Max Blumenthal. Blumenthal. Who are you? Who are you? Your dad. I know your dad is Sidney Blumenthal, but still, I mean, what's your name, kid? She did that one of those things. She had no idea who Blumenthal even was. Yeah, I used to. Yeah, COVID did break Keith Olbermann's mind. I mean, he became like a crazy old man, like a recluse. He never left his house. Then he called vaccinated people stupid and unvaccinated. I mean, stupid and idiots and all these names. Like, damn, Keith Olbermann, just stop talking about politics. Go back to ESPN. I mean, at least you knew somewhat about sports. She knows who she is now. Definitely. I mean, she was like this. She's like, "Who are you, kid?" Let me adjust my glasses here since I'm so old. Max Blumenthal. I don't know what your name is, kid. Just go away. Have security kick you out. And you call me out on my bullshit. I'm just gonna ignore you and just make fun of you while you're gone. That's basically what she did there. Now it's time to get. It's time to get to this one. Oh no. Ew! Holy shit. So these two just finished having sex. And then who has sex? Again, this is all speculation on my part. But I think it's true because that's what it looks like. They had sex and then immediately do a video about how Trump was indicted on 7 counts and all these counts and stuff. While in bed, so awkwardly, it was like, hey baby. Hey. So yes, they had sex, they had to have. Look at them, they're right in their bed. Like these two, like, and then they're like, hey, let's make a video. Oh, we just finished fucking, but let's make a video now about how Trump was indicted. Hey, who agrees to that? And I'm pretty sure this had to be Kyle's idea because it's on his channel. So Kyle's like, hey baby, I need more ad revenue. I need this video done right now. So we'll put you in it because some people actually like you. Nobody likes me, but someone likes you. So a lot of people like you. So let's put you in the video so I can get that sweet, sweet ad revenue. So I watched a little bit of this because let's get rid of that for now. Oh my god, this is at least cripple. I call it crystal cripple ball. Crystal ball. At least Crystal Ball has some makeup on. Unlike the last time they did a video in their bed where she had no makeup on. She looked like a 60-year-old woman. But nonetheless, let's play this. I'll turn off my mic and I'll chime in as needed. I probably won't play this whole thing, but we'll.
All right, y'all. Some breaking news. I'm sure you know the deal by now. I'm sure you know what's going on. But Trump has officially been indicted in the classified documents case. This is some big news. Of course, this is his second indictment in recent time. So, we can get into the specifics here. He's been indicted on at least 7 charges in federal court, including illegal retention of classified documents, obstruction, conspiracy. They also say potential.
I just noticed Kyle Kalinski's shitty tattoo there on his arm, on his arm right here, or that part there. Like, what the hell is that? No, let me turn this off. Oh my god, it's one of the worst tattoos I've ever seen in my life. What is that tattoo supposed to be? Like a fake rip-off Goldberg tattoo? I don't understand why would he put on a shitty tattoo like that. 2 rich clowns that used to be subbed to, not anymore. I unsubbed from Kyle 4 or 5 years ago, and Crystal. I don't know if I'm subbed to her channel still. I don't remember. I have to check. Kyle Kuklinski is now stepdad to Crystal's kid. To Crystal's teens. How old is Kyle? Is he 33 or 34? I'm 36, so I know he's a couple of years younger than me. But it's strange that a man in his early 30s decides to be a father figure to teenagers that don't belong to him. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't want to raise some brats that aren't mine. But that's just me, I unsubbed to Kyle after Jimmy TYT debacle. Oh, that was terrible. Like, Kyle exposed himself there to be nothing but a coward. I mean, he tried to take both their sides, and it was just embarrassing for him. And he exposed himself there again this is not the first time he's done this, being a cuck like that. Remember when Bernie Sanders cucked him off his own show? I mean, that was unbelievable. He just started that show. Him and his little wife here started that show at the time they weren't married, but they started the show, and then Bernie says, "Oh yeah, I'll be on the show, but I don't want Kyle there, and I can't do his accent at all. I tried, terrible, but I tried." And then Kyle said, "Okay, I'll just sit in the corner here, baby, while you interview Bernie Sanders, gladly, because I have a crush on you." Crystal. I had a crush on you since I called you stupid 10 years ago. So now you give me time of day. Now I'm your co-host on this podcast. You can do whatever you want. I'll sit in the corner like a good little boy, wait until you're done with Bernie, and then I'll continue the show. Then we do another show together. We're good. Okay, baby, I love you. Pathetic. Kyle's like one of the most pathetic guys on the planet. He's no man. He's just a cuck to Crystal Ball. Now he's raising Crystal Ball bratty teenagers. And look, and I call them bratty teenagers. I don't know if they're brats or not, but I really don't like kids, so I call them brats just because, no, if you have children, that's fine. I'm not judging you, but me personally is like, I don't like kids. So let me mute my mic. And Kyle got influenced by Crystal as well. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. If you look at Kyle's opinions before the Crystal Ball relationship and now, he's like a completely different individual. I mean, it's like he catered his opinions to make Crystal happy. I think it's called pussy whipped. Oh yeah, no doubt. That's the perfect word for it. He's a 30-something-year-old man child that is like, this is like a high school crush. It's like you're a 15, 16-year-old boy who has a crush on or 15-year-old boy has a crush on like an 18-year-old girl. But she won't give you time of day because you're still a child. So you do whatever it takes to get her attention. Agree with all her opinions, be that shoulder to cry on, all that stuff, that young boys do when they don't know what they're doing, try to attract a girl. And what was I going to say? That's obviously what this relationship is. We all know who wears the pants in this relationship. It's not Kyle Kalinske. That's all I can tell you. He don't wear the pants in this relationship. She wears the pants. The multimillionaire here wears the pants because he wants access to that money too, just as much as anybody else does. So let's keep going with this.
Potentially on the Espionage Act, false statements. So it's really like, it's a list of crimes, but what strikes me from this is that it seems to be more like the cover-up after the fact, right? Like that's sort of what looks to have bitten him in the ass.
Well, I mean, the illegal retention of classified documents is not about the cover-up. So you both have, and I think it's important that you have both like the crime and you have the cover-up, so they can't say like, oh, it's just a process crime or whatever. So you do have both pieces here. What I had read previously, the speculation was they're going to use, I think it's section 783, which is that language that doesn't actually technically require the materials to be classified for it to be a crime if they're, sensitive national security secrets that are retained illegally. So they were trying to short circuit the potential Trump defense of like, oh, I waved my hand and magically, unclassified everything.
But there's also a process. He didn't go through the process.
Correct.
Having to do that.
Yeah, but they possibly they used that statute to try to short circuit that potential defense.
So do you think the audio tape played a role in this? Because I do. There was apparently an audio tape where he's talking about like, I have this classified document, but I can't show you because it's classified. They have an audio tape of him saying that, which undermines his own.
Yeah, all right. So just because Trump said something doesn't mean that he's actually telling the truth. This is a man who talks out of both sides of his mouth. Constantly talks out of both sides of his mouth. Like he's some kind of, one point he says, well, they're not classified. Another part he's like, oh yeah, they're definitely classified. And here, I got this information. You can't have it. Nah, 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 nah. So, yeah. So why is he all of a sudden taking Trump's word for it? Yeah, I'm actually done with. I can't take this. I mean, I can't take that. So let's go away. Let's not play that anymore. I'm sick of that. And by the way, who does a video in their bedroom? Like who does a video sitting in their bed? Like, hey guys, Trump was just indicted. And Trump, we have all these charges, and what do you think, baby? You're right, It's like, who does that? Why don't you wait until the morning, like a normal person? It's like, you know what? We just finished having sex to get some sleep, and we'll do this video in the morning when we're all ready to go, and looking good, and etc. Instead, they literally, like, right there, like, hey guys, Trump was indicted. Please watch this video and give me all the views so I can get all this ad revenue because I need the money and I'm desperate. Please, please clap. I only subscribe to Breaking Points to stick it to the folks at the Hill when they left Rising. Look, what's interesting about Crystal and the other dude, what's his name? Why am I forgetting the name? The nerdy guy with the glasses on. Soccer, that's right. Why, when they left Rising, I was like, yeah, that's bullshit, blah, 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 they did it. Then now when they got to Breaking Point, somehow they get worse. Like, their commentary is so much worse than it was on the Hill. I'm like, what the hell happened there? I mean, it's like they got funding from certain people who didn't want them to say certain things, and then they stopped saying those certain things, that they were saying on the Hill. So now they're worse. They're not better. So apparently they're also getting a new set because I heard Crystal Ball bragging about how they were spending thousands of dollars on a new set. Which so like, yeah, where are you getting that money from? Because there's no way your audience is providing you enough money to pay for a brand new set, in Washington. So I don't know who does that. That's just bullshit. Okay, so let's see. Who should I make fun of now? Oh my god, shut up. Goddamn watch. For the youngers one, they did sit in their bedroom. I mean, the bedroom thing, it bothers me is like, it's like, if you go down to your kitchen, go down to your office. I mean, I assume Crystal has an office in her house. Deficit deal. So what should I talk about next? A deficit, or I did want to talk about this case if I can ever find it because I forget. Hold on, where is it? Son of a bitch. Uh, yeah, I lost the video that I wanted to talk about. Yeah, that's not good. Holy shit. Nazis. Economic terrorists. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, go fuck yourselves. Yeah, lunchtime. Yeah, I mean, I've lost the video that I was looking for. So, yeah, that's pretty awkward for me. Union. Massive blow. There was a Supreme Court case about 2 weeks ago. Looks like that. Yeah, about a week ago. That. Why am I forgetting? Hold on, because I just completely forgot. Hold on. Union. Ah. Glacier Northwest versus Teamsters. That's right. That's the case that basically decided that the company, the what's that? Why am Glacier Northwest company can sue the union for damages to their trucks while they went home. Well, they went on strike, basically, not home, but on strike. I'm doing the same thing Trump does, and I'm keep doing this. I keep talking with my hands and doing that. I talk with my hands a lot, so I kind of have the same habit that Trump does. I made fun of him just now for it, but yeah, I end up doing the same thing. So yeah, so I'm gonna. So, oh, here it is. Jesus.
So there was a big Supreme
blah, blah, blah. All right, so I'm not going to play this whole video of Kyle because he goes on and on about, he pontificates and grandstands about how this is horrible for unions and how unions are being screwed by this case. Again, I didn't research the details of this case, so I don't have an opinion about that. Even though what little bit that I've read, it's not good. I mean, I'll tell you that right now. But at the same time, I'm not going to fully go all in on, on attacking something or pointing out something without fully reading it and researching it myself. So, which is why I don't want to get into that. People talking about food in the chat's making me a little hungry, but I'm about to cook dinner in about an hour anyway, so it's all right. Keep talking about your food in the chat. It's funny, people having for lunch. But what I'm going to talk about though is Kyle Kalinski's speculation, or not speculation, but why he thinks judicial review is unconstitutional. I was like, wait, what? Why would he said that? I was watching this video 2 days ago, just background noise because I needed something to listen to while I was doing chores around the house. And he talks about how, yes, I live in New Jersey. I'm in the East Coast. So right now here it's 3:08 p.m. So in the East Coast, but yeah, I live in the East Coast in New Jersey to be exact. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I was listening to this video while I was cleaning and doing other stuff, more important stuff. Then I hear Kyle say, "Hunt to the effect of judicial review is unconstitutional," or something. Wait, what? One of the first Madison versus Marbury. I mean, that's one of the first most important cases of Bleh! Try that again. That was one of the first most important Supreme Court precedents in history. It's been around for 200 years, and he's saying, "Oh well, it's unconstitutional. Judicial review is unconstitutional." Blah 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 blah. I'm like, holy crap! He's really really pissed off that the union lost that case because ultimately, let's say if the Supreme Court would have ruled. I used to live in New Jersey, Hamburg, and Glassboro. I live in Trenton right now, in the capital. Trenton, everybody knows Trenton's capital, and my girlfriend lives in Toms River, so I'm about 45 minutes away from her house. So yeah, that's great. New Jersey is it's fine, but if I had the chance to move out of the state, I probably would. But nonetheless, I mean, right now I'm in New Jersey, so. Anyways, if Kyle if the Supreme Court would have ruled in favor of the union, there's no way he says this stuff. But because I couldn't believe that he used that, so which is why now I have to go to. So I want to see what he says first because I don't remember exactly what he said. So let's do that.
They don't bring up a very important fact in this article. That fact is the cement mixing companies, the workers actually left the trucks on to try to make it so.
Yeah, I don't know why that would matter much, but okay. That's not really, I don't care about that.
You cost us money that way.
No.
So in other words, the Supreme Court pretends, hey, is this thing constitutional or not?
Here we go.
Only Ketanji Brown, workers' power in America.
This is where he talks about judicial review. So this is like a minute or a couple minutes, so it's not that bad. Ryan Gosling let himself go. Oh no. Okay. He does look like Ryan Gosling a little bit. Holy shit.
So they're just saying, hey, fall in line, listen to the boss. That's the end of the conversation. This is a devastating blow. It's a devastating blow to unions. They never should have ruled this way. Only Ketanji Brown Jackson got it right. Only her. By the way, what we talk about almost all the time, we talk about the Supreme Court, is this idea of judicial review. Hey, is this thing constitutional or not?
The Supreme Court, yeah, it is constitutional. If you look at SCOTUS, oops, did I fuck up? I did. Supreme Court. All right, so here we go. What is the Constitution of the Supreme Court? Article 3, Section 1 states that the judicial power of the United States shall be vested in one Supreme Court and in such inferior courts as Congress may from time to time ordain and establish. Although the Constitution establishes the Supreme Court, it permits Congress to decide how to organize it. So that's what the Constitution says about the Supreme Court. And then for judicial review, whoops, wait, what did I just do here? Oh, here it is. Sorry about that. There you go. Hey, Nikki, how are you? Kyle's a wuss. Yeah, definitely is a wuss. I mean, he's no man. I'll tell you that much. So, because most men wouldn't cuck themselves like Kyle has to politicians and to his wife. So, the best known power of the Supreme Court is judicial review, or the ability of the court to declare legislative or executive act in violation of the Constitution. It is not found in the text of the Constitution. It's the court established this doctrine in the case of Marbury versus Madison in 1803. I thought it was 1801, but nonetheless, over 200 years, and this precedent has been set. Congress has a lot of power. Yes, it does. If Congress wanted to, they could, of course, reorganize the Supreme Court in any way they want. That's fair. That is absolutely fair. That Kyle. Geez, people talking about Kyle in the chat, so I said Kyle. That the Congress can reorganize the court in pretty much any way they feel like it. The issue is that if the Supreme Court doesn't have judicial review, or the federal courts doesn't have judicial review, then what's the point in the courts? So they would need to have some sort of power or authority to, oversee the oversee the other two branches of government, make sure they don't go too far. So, but Kyle continues little meltdown here, so I figured oh, there we go. Look at that face. Look at that put him. He's like he's obviously not happy, He's not happy about the union losing this case, even though this man's not a union guy. Let's be clear. This man right here, this face, he's not a union guy. He's not a working class guy. Before this, I think he had a job as a used car salesman. And then he went from that straight to YouTube. And his parents were middle class, upper middle class. So this is not a working guy right here. So him to pretend that he's pro-union is just laughable. But let him continue with his meltdown here. So mini meltdown. So
What the hell does any of this have to do with the Constitution? What does that have to do with the Constitution? It doesn't. So in other words, the Supreme Court pretends us? We're not political at all. We just call balls and strikes. We just interpret the Constitution at plain face value. We're not politicians. We don't make laws. We're not judicially activist. Well, that's exactly what this is. This is you guys being judicial activists. This is you guys being supremely political.
Wait. I guarantee you, if the Supreme Court would have ruled in favor of the unions, you would not hear Kyle Kalinske make that comment at all. He would not be saying that they were judicial activists and that they're inherently political. He would not be saying that at all. He would be saying the exact opposite. This is the right decision, and this is a great decision. The Supreme Court's awesome, and all this other stuff. Because they ruled against him, or they ruled against what he wants. Now all of a sudden he's angry, and he's all about, what's the point of the Supreme Court? What the hell is judicial review, guys? It isn't right. They went against precious unions, even though I'm not a union guy, and there will be a union guy. But nonetheless, I love unions. Let me grandstand and talk about how much I love unions. Surprised he's not wearing a Starbucks union shirt when he's talking about this video. Let's let Kyle keep going here a little bit longer. Mute.
So I think that's what annoys me the most about the Supreme Court is this totally fake, contrived, inauthentic, holier than thou attitude. Please, we're part of a culture in the Supreme Court. We wear our robes, we go to Ivy League schools, we're part of the Federalist Society, we make decisions for the country, very important decisions. No, you're all political hacks who are in the position that you're in to make the U.S. more of a corporatocracy, more of an...
Let me try unmuting myself first. For Kyle Kalinske to call anybody else political hacks, it's just laughable. This is the main political hack right here. This dude right here, main political hack. But meanwhile, the Supreme Court, all of you are political hacks because you ruled against what I wanted you to rule against. So, yeah, you're all political hacks, and I'm just pointing that out, guys. It's the truth. They're all political hacks. I'm very angry because they ruled against my unions. Am I a part of a union? No, I'm not. But, I'm just a rich boy who married a richer woman. But nonetheless, I am a union guy. I love my unions and I care about them. Please believe me. So let's see. How much more? About 30 seconds. So let me finish this and then I'll finish up my commentary on this.
of an oligarchy, to give more control to the economic royalists who you rub elbows with at cocktail parties.
And you rub elbows with in your bed with your wife, the economic royalists. But you think that $50 million that Crystal Ball is worth, whatever it is, she's worth a lot of fucking money. But it's not because she worked for it, because she married well. Her ex-husband is like one of the richest lawyers in Washington. So the idea that you're mad at, the economic royalists that you guys hang out with. Ignore my wife in the bedroom. Just ignore the fact that I married a very rich woman. But yeah, I'm going to act like I'm some kind of working class guy. Angry about how the Supreme Court just screwed over unions. Allegedly, because I haven't read the decision. I don't know much about it, so I'm not going to give my opinion on the decision itself. But I'm just talking about Kyle's little meltdown here at the end. Getting very angry because the unions were screwed, even though he's not a union guy and he'll never be a union guy.
That's what you're... The horrendous decision, and it screws workers colossally. And probably in a short amount of time, we'll see the wide-reaching effects of the conclusion of this case. It's infuriating, to say the least. It's time to defang these people. There's a million different reforms I'm open to. Million. You want to pack the court? Sure. Sure. You want to do term limits? Sure. Absolutely. You name it, I'll probably support it when it comes to the Supreme Court. Because they are acting like a rogue court right now, and there's no denying it. Hey, y'all.
Who gives a shit about Kyle promoting his channel? In fact, not even promoting his channel, promoting Crystal Ball there, it looks like. But nonetheless, when Kyle talks about these reforms to the SCOTUS, to the Supreme Court, let's just do that. There we go. When he talks about these reforms he wants for the Supreme Court, if they were ruling in the way he wants them to rule, he would never say this. He would talk about how great the Supreme Court is and how the Supreme Court is perfect and how they don't need any reform whatsoever. If they rule with unions and they rule with him, and if they rule with what in his mind are the people that matter, then he wouldn't be saying this. But because they're ruling against what he wants, he gets very angry and very butthurt. Let's see, anybody else here that I have to make fun of? It's got to be somebody else I can make fun of real quick before. What time is it? Do I have to wrap? No, I still got time. So they're just so full of crap. Right wing extremists, CNBC, blah blah blah. Blah, 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 blah. So the court is business. The court's always going to side with the corporate interest and with Wall Street and stuff. So the reason why I don't want to comment on that case, I don't know enough about it. Most likely, yeah, the Supreme Court just screwed that union and screwed unions around the country. But ultimately, I don't feel right, talking about it. I don't know, and I would have to read up on it and give my own, and then figure it out. But I'm pretty sure, most likely, this is going to be a horrible decision and stuff. Let's get rid of all that. I don't need all those tabs open. Let's see. Ooh. Excuse me. Yeah, some reason I'm yawning here, even though I'm not really that. I'm a little tired, but. Oops, why did I keep doing that? Crystal and Kyle are crying over Cornell West. Oh, in fact, I did want it. When I went on the combo couch, I think it was Wednesday. Yeah, it's Wednesday. Me and Pasta discussed that. We discussed that video where Crystal and Kyle were in the car, basically melting down over Cornell West run for president. So in fact, I'm glad you reminded me about that because I wanted to talk about it further on this stream because we didn't have
This is launching.
Stop. No need to. They wanted. We were. Never mind. We were talking about that. Me and Pasta were talking about this video in particular here, and how they were melting down over Cornell West and him running for president. And honestly, we watched about half the video, and I immediately realized that wait, there's some dog whistle racism here by these two, but in particular by Kyle though, because he talks about how Cornell he didn't know enough about the People's Party, even though he founded it, and he didn't know about he didn't do a Google search, and he doesn't know and stuff like that. I'm like, holy shit! I thought this from the Barbie movie. Yeah, there's a lot of dog whistle racism in this video, and Kyle they're mad about how and I think it was the next day when Crystal made a video on her channel, her show, talking about how Cornell West should have run as be a part of the Green Party, and so I might get to that one, but I don't know. Barbie is driving. Oh my god! But yeah, let's play a little bit of this because I do want to get to. Let's hopefully this will play because it's kind of rolling and rolling in circles.
What's up, everybody?
No, is it me or that's fucked?
Currently driving on a beautiful day, enjoying the sunshine and whatnot. Crystal just gave me some terrible news, which is that Chris Sununu is not running for president.
I know you're heartbroken, baby.
Makes me so sad.
I think you called him Chris Sahuhu. Was your nickname for him?
Nobody knows it. His family.
Stealing your material.
Yeah, that's not funny. That's lame and that's cheap. Let me skip ahead because we watched half of this on Combo Couch. I really don't feel like watching the whole thing. If you guys want to watch the whole thing, it's on his channel. So, but I have no desire to watch this whole thing. They're doing a reality show, Love in Politics. Yeah, I mean, at this point, these two are they're unbearable. I mean, I don't know how anybody can look at these two and "Oh, you're so great. We love you." Blah blah blah. And I was like, they're so unbearable. I mean, it's like they both have their expensive sunglasses, and they're in their expensive car, and they're acting like they're like regular people and stuff. Do regular people that I know don't make videos in their whole goddamn car, like in their car, like, "Hey guys, we're here making a video. I'm looking at the camera while I'm supposed to be driving, and we may have an accident, but I gotta get this video up as soon as possible on my channel because I need to make as much money as possible. Oh shit, there's a truck coming." I mean, come on, who does that? Jersey Shore reference. Yeah, I mean, and let me skip ahead a little bit. I don't want to watch this whole thing.
At all.
Yes.
He did a great job on Joe Rogan's podcast. He's just a very dynamic, charismatic, intelligent guy who I happen to agree with on probably 90%.
Get a load of that. You hear that? He's a charismatic, intelligent guy, and I like to listen to him. He might as well have said he's a what's the word I'm looking for? He's a smart black man. He might as well have said that. Like, I can't believe how smart Cornel West is. That's basically what he was saying there. It's like he's a smart, intelligent, intellectual black man. That's what he should have said. It's like super, like, let's just dog whistle racist him the whole time. Let's keep going.
Percent of policy stuff.
Yeah.
So I love Cornel West. I'll always love Cornel West. But honestly, my theory on this, and I'm curious what you think, Crystal, is that I don't think he looked into the People's Party at all. You know what I mean? Like, I genuinely think it's sort of like a Boomer moment where he was approached and, "Hey, we want you to run and be our candidate," or whatever. Which, by the way, is a whole separate question, because usually the way these things work is you have a fucking primary to determine who your candidate is going to be, and the People's Party apparently just anoints somebody, which is kind of weird if you want to be like, "We're the democracy people." Are you really? You just anointed somebody, the head of your party was approached and, "Hey, we want you to run and be our candidate," or whatever. Which, by the way, is a whole separate question, because usually the way these things work is you have a charismatic, intelligent guy who I happen to agree with on probably 90% of policy stuff.
Yeah.
So I love Cornel West. I'll always love Cornel West. But honestly, my theory on this, and I'm curious what you think, Crystal, is that I don't think he looked into the People's Party at all.
Yeah, except that he helped found the People's Party. He was one of the founders of the party, Kyle. Like I said on Combo Couch. So what are you talking about when he said he didn't look into the party? Turns out that you didn't look into the party, motherfucker, because he's one of the founders. Him, Nick Brana, he knows all those people very well. So what are you talking about when you say he didn't do his research, Crystal? What do you think, baby? Did he do his research? I'm doing a good job, right? I mean, sucking up the Democrats, right, and protecting the party. I'm doing a good job, right, baby? Unbelievable. It's like, it's just ridiculous. It's like, he's one of the founders of the party, and I just spit all over the place, sorry. But Kyle has the nerve to say, well, he didn't do his research on the party. Crystal, what do you think? So let's see what she thinks, even though I wonder who's like the bigger blockhead. Is it Crystal or is it Kyle? Because I'm trying. At time I go back and forth. It's like, oh well, now it's Crystal's the biggest blockhead. Like, no, it's Kyle. It goes back and forth. It depends. But let me see what blockhead Let me hear what the lady blockhead has to say. I muted myself before I even finished my sentence.
You know what I mean? Like, I genuinely think it's sort of like a Boomer moment where he was approached and, "Hey, we want you to run."
A boomer moment. A boomer moment. It's like, oh yeah, he's an ageist too, Kyle. He's like, oh yeah, he's an old man. He didn't look into shit. He's just, he got tricked. He's like an old man. Let us, the great white hope that is Crystal Ball and Kyle Kalinske, tell you how to run for president. We'll tell you how to run, Cornel West, Dr. Cornel West. Trust me, we'll tell you how to run for president, and you'll do exactly what we tell you to do, and you'll win. So that's what he said. It's Kyle just got Marianne to peg him too. Look, I didn't say that. He's Kyle got that got me. Good job. I mean, that's funny.
Run and be our candidate or whatever, which by the way is a whole separate question, because usually the way these things worked is you have a fucking primary to determine who your candidate is going to be, and the People's Party apparently just anoints somebody, which is kind of weird if you want to be like, we're the democracy people. Are you really? You just anointed somebody the head of your party. That's not the way you're supposed to have an election to figure out who's going to be the leader. But anyway,
fair point.
I love Cornel West, so that's a side point, but I don't think he knew like about all the issues with the People's Party. And so, I mean, all it requires is like a Google search and digging a little bit deep and he would have found it, but I guess he didn't do it. And so my guess is he's probably surprised.
Again, he founded the People's Party. He helped found it, one of the founders. So I'm sure he knows about the alleged accusations against Nick Rana of sexual assault or harassment. I'm sure he knows about the issues the party has because he's one of the founders. I'm sure he goes to all the meetings and he goes to all the organizing, whatever the party does. I'm sure he's involved big time. So yes, I don't know why he's acting like, and again, I talked about this, and I'm kind of repeating myself from Combo Couch, but still, I mean, I'm just kind of shocked at how stupid this guy is. Let me see, like there were others. Yeah, I mean, there was nobody else. The only person that other person I talked to was Jimmy Dore to run for president, and I guess he obviously didn't do it, or else Cornel West wouldn't have entered the race entered for the People's Party. Democrats have super delegates. That's the thing with these two. These two are also going to support Biden. We all know that. This whole Marianne Williamson thing is just Crystal and Kyle dicking around and see how much influence they have. They think they have a major amount of influence on the online left or online liberals. So they want to anoint a Bernie 2.0. So what do? They fucking, like, who's Bernie 2.0? Who could it be? RFK Jr.? Nah, he's anti-vax, fuck him. Who else? Which other Democrat we can go with? Oh, I know, Marianne Williamson. Crystal's friends with her, and Kyle, by definition, is friends with her too because she's friends with his wife. So yeah, so let's go with her. Let's anoint her. Let's push her. Let's just do manufacturer consent for her. Let's make it seem like she's like Bernie 2.0. Oh, it turns out that the rest of the online left and liberals aren't convinced. Ah, shit. Because the Young Turks aren't convinced. Who else? The majority report said they weren't going to support her. I mean, like, no one's really convinced by Marianne Williamson. The only person that is convinced is probably Mike Figueredo and his crew. His crew of morons. They're the only ones that probably, are convinced, but thanks for the super sticker. Fizzy pop slippers. Appreciate the super sticker. The drooling face. Like, yeah, I can't drool right now. But thank you for the super sticker. Greatly appreciate that. Yeah, anoint Bernie 2.0 to fail on purpose. It's definitely going to fail. I mean, it's like, what do you think? Do these two really think that they have a shot of nominating Marianne Williamson? Especially this woman who's psycho. She has history of assaulting her own staff and screaming and yelling at them, and they have to know that. I mean, they can't be like, they can't pretend like, yeah, I've had enough of this video, but they can't pretend that I've watched most of it anyways already. So you guys get the point. These two are just fucking morons and fools, etc. So something else. Oh yes. The why am I? Wait, oh yeah. And my mouse about to fall. So yes, this is live. This is live right now. She makes Amy Klobuchar look like Miss Manners. Yeah, yeah. I mean, Marianne Williamson's a psycho. I mean, how violent she is, and how much she screams and yells at her staff and attacks her staff too, which is probably. And this is not just recently. It's remember her campaign manager resigned. Peter Dow, but yeah, she resigned. and other staffers have resigned like crazy. So he resigned, and all her staffers are resigned. The 2020 campaign, there were incidents then too, and there were incidents going back 30 years when she headed up some AIDS organization. So so Marianne Williamson's a psycho. I mean, why would anybody put their hopes behind her is beyond me, and make her president? I mean, she was president with how hard the job is. She would melt down and yell and scream and throw stuff instantly within the first week of her administration. So the idea that she should be president is just ridiculous. But Crystal and Kyle, once again, ladies and gentlemen, they're not that bright. They're two blockheads, who are partisan hacks. There's something else I wanted to play. I have like 15 minutes, so I think I have time before I wrap up. So I have time to play one more video if I can find it. Oh no, it's not here. It's on Twitter. It is astonishing that. Let me see. It is astonishing I got through Kyle. I got through Kyle to the dissent mandate post-duopoly left through Twitter debates. I actually listened to the critiques and got convinced. Yeah, I mean, there's people like, why am I fucking trying to, like, I'm losing my mind here. It's like my brain is going into fucking shit. My brain's going straight to shit. So I wanted to show you guys like Crystal's reaction on her show the next day, but if I can find it, because she continues after the original video, she like continues to. Sorry, I gotta. Where? Here it is. Yeah, this is an excellent. It's an excellent thread by Dirtbag Leftist on Twitter at DirtbagLeft1. So you haven't already, go follow him. He's follow. He managed to put this thread together of Crystal Ball. Welcome to Sheep Herding for a Democratic Party 101. Here we'll be analyzing a case study on how Crystal Ball does it. First, if you're going to run for that party, you might as well run to the Green Party. So it's like a minute long, I think. Yeah, 17 seconds. So
The choice of running in this.
Oops. So Crystal Ball's in her house. I'm not going to make it full screen because I do need, because this is a thread. So this is the first video. I can play it.
The choice of running in this way with the People's Party it's just confusing to me. If you're going to run third party, the Green Party has ballot access in almost every state. They obviously were able to have an impact and gain more traction in 2016 when Dr. Jill Stein ran. The choice of running in this way with the People's Party.
Mute myself. Yeah, I mean, she wants people to run the Green Party. Like, no, don't run for the People's Party. Run the Green Party. But running to the Green Party is pointless because you can't win because of the structure of American politics. So that's always her excuse usually. So let's actually put this back though.
I also have questions about how much success you're able to garner as a third party candidate, just given the structure of American politics. So you kind of know with a third party, like you're not going to win just because of the overall structure of American politics. So it's not like there's not an opening for a third party candidate to get some chunk of the vote. Is that going to be a winning percentage? No, it's not going to be, just simply because of the structure of American politics. So, in terms of if you actually want to win the state of American politics, the structure of the system is such that you have to compete in one of the two main parties.
So, yeah. So Crystal Ball thinks, then why is she talking about here you should run to the Green Party? Well, let's keep going. Here's the example of the structure of American politics. We'll just neglect to mention the fact that Democrats fight to keep the structure the way it is.
I also have questions about how much success you're able to garner as a third party candidate, just given the structure of American politics, the fact we have first past the post voting, the fact we don't have ranked choice voting.
She sounds like Kyle Kulinski there. complaining about, oh, we don't have ranked choice voting, guys, and we don't have all these reforms that me and my husband think that would lead to fairer elections. So, yeah, which is why you must vote Democrat. What? That I don't give a shit about that. I'm not voting for a party that actively tries to keep the system as it is, which she did not mention there, by the way. So if you want to win, you have to do a Democratic Party. Bernie Sanders is an example as getting close, but he simply did not make it because the primaries were rigged. Oh shucks, maybe they won't be rigged next time. So let me see.
I mean, Bernie Sanders, there were problems with his campaign. He was, it was rigged against him. He wasn't able to get across the finish line. He came out a lot closer than Jill Stein did. I mean,
Unbelievable. She's like, well, guys, I mean, because the primaries, Bernie didn't win because the primaries are rigged. Maybe they won't rig them next time. Continue running to the Democratic Party, please. Because ultimately, I'm a Democrat. I'm not a progressive or anything like that. I'm just a Democrat. So keep running to Democrats. Maybe one day we'll win when they unrig the primaries. What have you done to unrig the primaries? Dick. She hasn't done anything. Her husband, the Young Turks, they haven't done dick to unrig the primaries. But they're gonna keep telling you to vote for Democrats because that's all because they get paid to tell you to vote for Democrats. So now that you understand why running third parties are pointless, and if running the third party is pointless, if you want to win, the only other reason would be to push Biden left. But you can't do that because Democrat will smear and dismiss leftists.
but if your theory of change is, all right, this is going to put pressure on Biden and the Democrats to move more left and represent more of our values, well, that was tried in 2016. And rather than putting pressure on them to move left, what it actually caused them to do was to further smear and dismiss leftists and anyone who ever said even a single kind word about Dr. Jill Stein, to redouble their efforts to crush any sort of leftist insurgencies, to smear everyone as like, Putin's puppets and fascist sympathizers, etc. And just as a tactic, it wasn't successful.
Yeah. I mean, no shit, it wasn't successful. Instead of doing that, how about you fucking do this? And how about coalescing a movement to create an inertia to win? Yeah, I mean, because they don't, the money, to her, it doesn't matter. Because she's a rich multimillionaire, so it doesn't really matter to her if change happens now or in 50 years. Because ultimately, she has her money, she has her health insurance, she has her house, and she'll never lose that stuff. So she's not that concerned about it, quite frankly. Which is why she's like, oh, keep voting for Democrats, my party. Trust me, we'll do something for you eventually. We'll give you breadcrumbs in 10 years or something like that. So that's what you should expect. So if you want to push Biden left, you must do it to the Democratic Party. Here's a great example how Bernie Sanders is able to do that. I wonder what idea Crystal Ball will have. I mean, this has to be good. How did Bernie Sanders push Joe Biden left? This has to be good. Let's check it out.
If you want to push Biden...
Oops. I think I fucked up. Fucking hell. Let's just do this. All right, let's just play it from here.
If you want to push Biden to the left, if that's your goal, I think we have sort of run the playbook and run the experiment before. And there's been more success, not that this worked out amazingly, but there's been more success pressuring him within the context of a Democratic primary where, for example, Joe Biden did not want to cancel any student loan debt, right? Very clear. Mm-hmm. He would not have taken a position on that. He wouldn't have felt pressure to do any of it in his administration had he not been on a stage with candidates like Bernie Sanders that were pushing the issue and forced him to have to take that stance. And then, once he's in office, he's sort of shamed into sticking with the very clear commitments that he made. So if your goal is not to win, but to push him left, I think we've also seen more effective tactics. If you want to push...
Jesus Christ. Like, oh yeah, the student loan debt guy. See, he if it wasn't for Bernie, he never would have done it. By the way, there's still trillions of dollars student loan debt. There's still Americans who are taking on even more debt in order to get an education. So, yeah, nothing's really fixed. What Band-Aid? Let me try it again. What Biden did was just put a Band-Aid on it. It's like, oh, everything's fine. You see, yeah, I forgave some debt, maybe, whatever, but ultimately, it's still a massive, massive problem. Kind of like what Obama did with the Affordable Care Act. It's still like a massive, massive problem, healthcare. But they act like they fixed it and moved on. That's what they're gonna move on. Crystal ball, basically, you see, we did student loan debt. You see, I mean, Biden did that. It's a good thing, even though there's trillions of dollars student loan debt and more Americans taking on multi millions of dollars of debt in order to get an education. So the problems get worse, not better. But which is why I dropped out of college 10 years ago, because ultimately I was like, when my aid ran out, I was like, should I take on a ton of money and student loan debt in order to get education, or should I just go home and go to work? Yeah, I'll just fuck off home. I'm not taking on all this student loan debt, because ultimately I'm like, yeah, I don't want to end up paying down 10 years down the road, and owe a ton of money and stuff. So yeah, I want to read a couple of these comments. How about things that have immediate consequences that work a long time after, like a revolutionary war, topping the whole effing corporate deep state? U.S. citizens have the Second Amendment. Some even hammer. Yeah, that's the whole point of the Second Amendment. To not have the government go too far and force the citizens into doing things they don't want to do. Like, for example, during the virus, I'm not going to use the word, but the virus, back in a few years ago in Australia, if you remember, they literally would grab people and put them in like these camps in order to, when they had the virus, in order for them to stop, in order for not to spread the virus. So yeah, so at that point, it's meanwhile, here in the U.S., that never happened, because if that would have happened, where people would be dead, because Americans would have grabbed their guns and shot at these government agents trying to grab them. So that's why it never happened here. In Australia, it happened because they banned guns after one mass shooting. So yeah, so that's that. That's why I'm against any type of. I'm fine with gun reform. I'm not really in favor of taking away people's guns, which let's say, in conclusion, the only reason to run for president is if you want to win or push Biden left. And the only way to do either is to run as a Democrat. So register as a Democrat now. And don't forget, you earned the respect of Sagar and Jetty. I think that's how you say his name. So let's check out this 10-second clip.
They're running as Democrats. That's why I respect what RFK Jr. and Marianne are doing, because they're running as Democrats.
See, you've earned Sagar's respect. He runs a Democrat, even though this guy's allegedly a Republican. He's a populist right, but somehow, he'll respect you because you're running as a Democrat. So we're not sure whether he's been captured by Crystal or what the hell's going on. But it's like, yeah, if you're a Republican, you're not going to respect somebody who runs a Democrat. This is kind of a weird thing to say. Let's see. Anything else before I wrap up? Because clown, yeah, they're definitely clowns. Oh, I love this clip. Ro Khanna admits that the only reason progressives are voting against the debt ceiling bill is to virtue signal, and that they know that they already have enough votes regardless. Yeah, of course. What? I mean, there's no. This is all virtue signal when they all voted against the bill. He holds the camera when Crystal does Kyle. Yeah, I mean, hey, you said that, not me. But yeah, there it is right there, ladies and gentlemen. Good show today. Thank you very much. I appreciate the support. Let me play this one video. I'll talk about it, and then I'll wrap up, because my laptop battery is dying too. So I don't want to just turn the stream off as like without saying goodbye. So let's do this.
I think the Republicans took this president hostage. This president did the absolute best he could under the circumstance. The deal could have been much worse. But there are many Democrats who do not want to reward the Republicans running roughshod over the Constitution. Hakeem Jeffries has said that we will provide enough votes so that the deal passes and it does not default.
What a clown. That's absolutely right. He's like, oh, Hakeem Jeffries had made it clear, guys, that we will have enough votes to pass this debt ceiling deal that cuts social programs and that, cuts that's cuts that we're all against. But still, I mean, Hakeem Jeffries says we will vote for you. We will vote for them. Get the fuck out of here. He's pathetic. All right, well, let me get rid of that. There you go. That'll do it for this one. Wow, it went nearly 2 hours. I never go nearly 2 hours. Well, I have had a lot of fun, which is why I usually don't go 2 hours, but today I did. I just wanted to say thank you for the support. I'll be back next Friday. This stream once a week at 2 o'clock Eastern, 2:15 Eastern. I also wanted to talk about tomorrow. I'm obviously a part of INN. Tomorrow we have thank you very much. We have Bitch with Comrade We have Bitch with Comrade Misty on Saturday night. Check that out. On Sunday we have on the INN channel. Sunday we have How Do We Miss That with Reef and Indy. Make sure you check that out. And we have shows nearly every day now. We have streams every day throughout the week now, INN. So that's huge. And I want to thank everyone for their support. Ro can suck my... Yes, he can suck it. Let's just say that. So I want to thank all you guys for watching. You're welcome. I mean, I enjoyed doing this. I'll see you guys next Friday afternoon, 2 o'clock Eastern. 2:15, technically. So I'll see you guys then. Have a nice rest of your weekend. Follow me on Twitter. All my socials in the link description box below, but there's my Twitter. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next Friday. No problem. Peace out.